Hey everybody, how y'all doing? I just turned the audio on. Um, Want to thank you all for joining us on this amazing day. What a beautiful day it is out here in Spring, Texas. Fred and I are here to have our podcast, and welcome to all of our returning members and our new members. Thank you, because without you, we wouldn't be able to have this channel, right? Remember, if you're a subscriber, you can text us now in real time, and we'll try to reply to your comments as much as possible. But if we don't have an answer, we'll get back to you with something that is correct. We don't want to misquote or missay anything. Remember, keep your remarks friendly. Any malicious or inappropriate remarks will be removed, and continuous offenders will be reported and blocked. Okay? This is a professional courtesy. Please don't slam us with anything nonsense. Fred and I would like to talk a little bit about what's in the ATC news. Okay, and upcoming interview filming date will be March 24th at the Ellington Air Museum. So if you're in the area, if you're in the Ellington area or going to be in the Ellington area on March 24th, please drop me a line, and we'll invite you out to have your interview with us. We'll have about 18 to 20 air traffic controllers out there that will be talking about their stories, about their time, and just basically kind of doing some hangar flying. And then you can see how we do this operation. We might even be doing some live streaming on that day. My friend from up at SAMU, he's going to come down with his students and plug in and maybe live stream our show. That would be amazing if we could do that. We'll have a couple of guests down there. Daniel Flores is going to join us. He's a Apache pilot, and several other notables will be there. So if you send me your information, I'll take your phone number and your email. And in return, I will send you a call sheet a couple of days before the shoot, so you know what time to come, where it's going to be held, how to get there, and what the expectations are. Probably between 10 and 4. We have to be out of there by 5. We have a beautiful section of the museum right in front of a DC-3 that is incredibly restored. Okay. Our topics for today, FAA's NTSB recommendations for DCA Airport, and hiring at the air traffic for air traffic controllers. I understand that tomorrow is the last day, March 17th. So if you have an application in, or if you're ready to take the test, you better get on down and get it taken care of. Go to the FAA.gov webpage, and you can find out what you need. But if you haven't already done that, you might be a little bit too late, right, Fred?
Yeah, definitely. The test is not easy, but you can prepare for it, and you can take it more than once if the roster is open. But you need to get that score as high as you can. That puts you in the lineup. The higher the score, the higher you go on the lineup to be hired. And then once you get selected, you will be assigned a date and time at the FAA Academy in Oklahoma City. And your grades coming out of that school will determine what facility you'll be going to around the country.
Oh, speak up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're barely moving that Greek.
Okay, around the country. Certain facilities do have a higher pay grade. That's associated with the amount of volume the facility works. And any facility that works more than 1 million operations a year is the highest pay grade for a controller. The future does seem bright as far as salary increases, but it's also the fact that they're going to be reducing controllers that are not towing the line. So you've got to do the job, and you've got to do it well.
And that's true, because we've always looked for the best, the most qualified, and the safest people that operate out there. And a lot of that falls on the back of the supervisor to make sure that, because they're the ones that are right there on the front line all the time watching the operation as the day goes on, and they can tell who's firing on all cylinders and who's not. It's not to say that if you're having, let's say, a bad day and you come in, you want to make sure you keep your supervisor informed if you have something going on that might be distracting to you when you're working, should you be working a lot of aircraft. So, and speaking of a lot of aircraft, I'd like to start moving us over to the FAA's statement on the NTSB recommendations for DCA. This came out on March 14th, okay, just 2 days ago, and Secretary Duffy held a nice little conference, and he talked about how and what the steps are to improve safety around the Ronald Reagan Washington Airport. And this improvement follows the NTSB's recommendations. And FAA always tries to abide by those recommendations. And actually, the majority of our rules come because of incidents and accidents and recommendations from safety conclusions. So these rules or these recommendations are permanently restricting non-essential helicopter operations around the DCA and eliminating helicopter and fixed wing mixed traffic. Okay, I don't know how that's going to go over there because that area, that entire area is inundated with helicopters and fixed wing. That's how the majority of people get around and get out of that traffic inside the loop. Your congressman, senator, and of course, the president, Air Force One and Air Force Two, and their families. So then they're going to be permanently closing the route between Haynes Point and the Wilson Bridge and evaluating alternative helicopter routes as recommended by the NTSB. If a helicopter has to fly through that airspace on an urgent mission, such as life-saving medical or priority law enforcement or presidential transportation, the FAA will keep them specific distances away from airplanes. What do you think about that, Fred?
Yeah, the flight needs to get prior approval so everyone knows about them to go through that airspace. I do want to mention that we have a booklet about air traffic that, for all the things we have with rules and regulations, we offer this to subscribers so they can get information.
Yeah, it's about basically the history of air traffic control. So if you don't want to just search through the internet willy-nilly and you want to get a nice description of how the rules and regulations and the whole system evolved, that has it. It goes all the way back to 1929. There you go. So,
and for every one of those rules, they were sorted out and developed because of some kind of a place that the ball was dropped. And as the NTSB and the FAA did research and realized there were flaws in the system, a new rule was written to fill that gap. Again, when I taught with my students, I would explain how much of that rule book was in there that people didn't understand. There is a 250 knot restriction on all private and commercial aircraft that the aircraft has to be reduced to 250 knots below 10,000 feet. And people didn't realize that was a rule that was created because of the United and TWA collision over New York back in the early 60s.
That's right. So we'll continue down the list of these regulations that we're going to be, or the FAA is going to be providing. That one of them, the next one would be prohibiting the simultaneous use of runways 15, 33, and 4 and 20 and 22 when helicopters are conducting urgent missions around the area near DC. So this limiting the use of visual separation to certain Coast Guard, Marine, and Park Police helicopter operations outside the restricted airspace. The FAA will continue to closely support the NTSB-led investigation and take action as necessary to ensure public safety. And addressing safety risks at other airports. The FAA is continually analyzing the airports that have high volumes of mixed traffic. That includes an assessment of the 8 cities where we have chartered helicopter routes. These are Boston, New York, Baltimore, Washington area, Detroit, Chicago, Dallas, and Los Angeles. Some of them have multiple airports, of course. And the FAA is assessing the Coast Guard, including offshore operations. So that's going to definitely going to affect Houston Center's offshore operations. The FAA has certain corrective action plans for any risks that are identified. And to make them more productive, they're using a machine learning and language modeling to scan incident reports and mine multiple data sources to find themes and areas of risk. So it seems like there's a multitude of actions happening surrounding the DCA incident with the helicopter and the American airline pilot. And well, there's a lot of more information that'll be coming out in the final results of the NTSB report. And after that report comes out, I'll weigh in, and I think Fred will also weigh in on exactly how we feel and what our thoughts were. But until then, we're just going to wait for the experts to tell us what the findings are, because we don't have the cockpit voice recorders. We don't know what was going on at the tower. None of that is open to us or even the press. I mean, you might have their experts weigh in, but what do they know, right? They know just about as much as we do. So let's move on to the training and the hiring window. So I think I said earlier that the window is closing on March 17th. I don't know. Has anybody out there heard a different time frame for hiring? It started on February 27th, and it's supposed to end March 17th. So if you have any information, please send me the information or just post the link in our chat area. I like to look at it, but I looked through the internet. I didn't see anything. Fred, did you see anything?
No, I know at times when the roster opens, there's a huge influx of people taking the exam to get in. You want to be in there while the door is open, because when it closes, it stays closed for a while. And the whole training cycle, it takes any place from 3 to 5 years to make a controller. They're not just a little add water and mix.
Well, thank you for that piece of information, Jack. 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on March 17th, it closes. So you better hustle up and get those, I guess, applications in or whatever the necessary forms are to the FAA so that you can start making $160,000 a year plus in a nice air-conditioned room, sitting in a cushy chair and controlling those airplanes if you have good time spatial orientation, okay? Or great personalities like Jack and I. All right.
No, I'm Fred.
Oh, this is Fred. I meant Jack. Fred. No, Fred's a great guy. So let's see. What else we got, Fred? About the training there. All this stuff is going to be in support of the president's priorities for keeping America safe in aviation. They're going to be raising the bar on recruiting the best and the brightest through a merit-based process. Now, I agree with the merit-based process, but best and the brightest. Now, let's discuss that. That doesn't mean that you have to have an MIT college education. Believe me, I work with people that barely scraped by high school at times, but they were outstanding controllers, okay? Probably some of the best in the business. You need good time spatial orientation. You need a good personality. You have to be able to handle stress. When you're on the fire, you have to be able to make decisions just like you weren't on the fire. You got to put everything aside, think clearly, stay focused, and do your job. It's kind of like if there's an accident happening in your airplane, you got to fly the plane, not start worrying about it, you're going to crash, right?
A point I used to bring up to my students: you don't come to this job for the money. Whatever the salary is, it's not enough when you're in those times of pressure. You come to this job because of the challenge. It's not just a job, it's a profession. And a profession you'll last through your life. You start, the minimum age to come in is 18, and we have a maximum age of 56 for retiring.
But I think that's going to change. I believe that is going to change. There's been some talk about it. It's on the website for the FAA, and we'll we'll go into that as soon as we get more information. But yeah, 56. What was it? You had to be 32.
Oh, you have to be assigned into a facility by your 32nd birthday.
Right. So hurry up. March 17th. That's tomorrow. Not much time. Let's see.
Questions.
We have. I think we covered about everything that we wanted to talk about. Does anybody out there have any questions? I see that we have 2 people on. Whoa! And you lasted this long. That's amazing. So one of them must be Peggy, and I know one is Jack. And by the way, Jack has given me a couple of videos that he's edited, and he's going to allow me to put them on the site. So his stuff is always very entertaining, and we welcome his input. So anybody out there want to hit the chat board, give us a question or two, or just want to weigh in on anything that we said? More than willing to hear you, and I'll repeat whatever you want. Well, within reason. No? Okay. Well, thank you all for listening. We'll be letting this get posted here shortly if the audio is good. And Jack says the audio is good. And if the video quality is good, I know my picture looks amazing. So, yeah. It's you got to be, you can't be older than 32, Jack. Jack just said, I thought the age was before 31st birthday. 32nd, you can't be 32 when you get hired on. I think that's the way it's supposed to work. But if not, I will verify it and I will post that online in the post section. Okay, Jack? Anybody else have any questions for us? Remember, March 24th at the Ellington Lone Star Flight Museum, we will be interviewing other air traffic controllers. And if you want to be involved in this process, please email me off the site or email Fred off the site, or you can email me at robreese@mac.com. Send me your phone number and I'll get your email when you send it. And I will send you a call sheet 3 or 4 days before we do the show, so you know where to meet, what time, what the expectations are. Okay? We would love to have you. We want to hear your stories. We'd love to hear your interchange with air traffic control if you're a pilot. We'd love to hear just your interchange as an air traffic controller and what you thought about the job, or if you have any special experiences, such as community service. Maybe your facility did something like Toys for Tots or Adopt a Family, helping out other organizations in the area. Fred?
You don't have to be a controller to bring up questions. And you don't have to be a controller to have an interview. We want people from the outside that want to learn about it. We can discuss it with them too, and maybe give them the answers they're looking for.
Yeah, that's true. And Jack's wife just designed us a new logo for our behind the scenes product. If you look on our page, you'll see the logo, the circular logo is gold.
It's Fred.
I'm sorry, Fred's wife. Why do I keep calling? Because I'm looking at Jack over here and I'm talking to Fred over there.
I'm the good looking one.
Oh, that's right. So Fred's wife, Peggy. Sorry, Peggy. I didn't mean to marry you off to Jack. And I'm sorry, Jack, for
calling
Fred Jack. But anyway, Fred's wife, Peggy. Fred, Jack says you're good looking. So you guys can take that up later. But Fred's wife, Peggy, designed this logo, and it is amazing. It looks wonderful. She's really also very excited about this channel, as excited as we are. And we offer anybody any opportunity to send stuff in if you want us to show it. If you have pictures that you want to show from your aviation career days, Jack is now saying he wishes he looked as good as Fred. Well, now I'm getting worried about you, Jack. You're going to have to get your glasses on, okay?
Just remember who loves you, baby.
There you go. So from Rob Reese and
Fred Shuffler,
we were so glad that you joined us, and we hope that you join us again next week. And for anybody that's going to attend that March 24th event, please get in contact with either Fred, I got it right this time, or myself. All right. Well, you guys take care and happy flying, or whatever you're doing out there. All right. Bye now.